Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. I sent out an email saying that I was going to get on here at 11 today, but I actually meant 11:30, so I'm late and I'm early. I'm here though, so I'm super excited to talk with you guys today about whatever questions you may have and about the subconscious mind and programming and how that works and how we can kind of make ourselves do the things that we want and need to do and how we actually get there. So I just want to first just say, hey, and if anybody's been feeling tired, emotional, gotten mild like flu-like symptoms or even acne or anything like that over the past week, just know that we are all kind of purging some energy right now. So don't worry about it. Just be easy with yourself. Hi, Sarika. Hi, Rick. So just kind of like flow as best you can and just roll with energy. So I have a piece of fluorite that I'm playing with. This is one of my favorite stones to give readings with. I just got off of a reading just right now, and I just held this the whole time. I also have a little chunk right here, and I had another one that I was playing with, but I really like fluorite, and I really like kyanite and angelite for reading. So if anybody gives readings or anybody's like looking to go a little bit deeper into their meditation practices, these are three really good stones to work with. So I think last week I had said that I was going to talk about the subconscious mind this week. I went into it a little bit, but I just want to talk, what is our subconscious mind? So the subconscious mind is the actual programs. Thank you, Keisha. The actual programs that we are operating on. Let's put it that way. So if you have a computer, the programs that are running in the back of the computer are, they use energy, and they're the programs. I don't know what I'm trying to say. They're the programs that help you do the things that you need to do on the computer. So the subconscious mind is the programs that you're operating on. So whatever the subconscious mind believes, that is what's going to happen. So if you're trying to manifest, but in your subconscious mind, you don't believe that you're worthy of it. You don't believe that you will ever receive what it is that you're trying to call in. Or if you are in a relationship and you have the subconscious belief from the programming that you had as a child that relationships are terrible, that relationships always have to be dramatic, that relationships are something negative and will always be something negative, then that is the program that you are operating on. And so you will likely have a very, dramatic relationship, or things will keep coming up. If there is a pattern in your life that has shown you, when this happens, then I feel scared, or when this happens, then I feel negative, or things never work out for me, or whatever has happened in your life previously has programmed your subconscious mind to say that when this happens, so cause and effect, when this happens, this is what will follow. And so our job, if we want to live in a higher vibration, if we want to find more joy, if we want to find more bliss, our job then is to reprogram the subconscious mind to believe that those things that we want, just simply joy and happiness, are available to us, and they're available to us all the time. How do we then get there though? So I have a lot of ways that I use. Hi, Lauren. I have a lot of ways that I kind of work to program my subconscious mind. And a lot of it, you guys, is outside stimuli. And so when you look at that, like, we've constantly been programmed. Our subconscious is constantly picking things up. We pick most of it up when we're kids, but it's still happening throughout the day because the subconscious mind isn't sleeping. The subconscious mind never sleeps, not even when we're sleeping. The conscious mind is the one that sleeps. So as we're going about the day, if you have the news on in the background, or you're listening to, negative stories from other people, you're listening to gossip, or you're listening to, hi Lori, or you're listening to, you're watching negative shows, or you're listening to, I know there's a radio station around here that does, what is it called? I'm trying to think. It's this really like crappy segment that before my awakening I really enjoyed, but now I cannot stand to listen to it because it's all about calling people out, like finding cheaters, like finding people that are doing crappy things, putting them on blast on the radio, like kind of like ruining their lives on the radio for everybody to get entertainment out of. And when you're listening to these things that other people are doing, or you're listening to the negativity on the media, or you're reading the negativity on Facebook or other forms of social media, those things are going into your subconscious mind, whether you believe it or not, or whether you're like, I'm not willing to live my life this way, or, this isn't truth for me. By constantly reading those stories, even if you're saying those aren't your truth, they are getting into the subconscious mind because your subconscious mind is seeing them and reading them. And until you kind of disengage from all of that and you choose not to see it and you choose for it not to be your reality, then that's how you stop it. But these things are coming all the time. Like you can hear somebody having a conversation in the grocery store, and that's getting into your subconscious mind. Everything external that we hear, whether we are conscious of it or not, is seeping in there. And so that's why, you guys, as empaths, as intuitives, as people, maybe you don't think you're an empath, maybe you don't think you're an intuitive, as anybody who wants to live a happier, more sustainably happy and joyful life, you've got to pay attention to your subconscious programming. So, Rick brings up a good question. He says, how much of the subconscious programming are from past lives? That's a really good question. I think quite a bit because I know that there have been readings, like a couple of my first readings with different people brought up the fact that I was either like, this is before I decided to claim that I was a medium, or I decided to like actually look into my intuition. Different mediums had told me, you were burned at the stake as a witch. You were beheaded in your village because you were a witch doctor and you were treating people with energy and you were treating people, as a medicine woman and things like that. Like basically using intuition and magic or whatever in past lives. And so because of that, and they all brought this to the surface before and I was like, what the heck is a past life? Like, I didn't even know what they were talking about at the time. But because of that, I will sometimes have trouble, not now, but in the past, I had trouble speaking my truth, standing up for myself, standing up for what I believed in. If I thought that it would make somebody else uncomfortable, I wouldn't show up for that. And so that I don't think was ever really anything that was programmed in me in my home. I do believe that those programs came from from past lives. So that I think it does have an impact on our subconscious mind in a much grander scheme, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, you guys? So, the subconscious mind, it stays with us. It's with our spirit. So that's a great question, Rick. I'm glad that you brought that up. And as far as being here and wanting to change the subconscious mind and wanting to change our beliefs, you can say an affirmation all day and it'll help, but it's going to help a smidge until you start believing it and feeling it within your body. So you're saying an affirmation, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy. If you're just saying it like that, there's no energy behind that. You're not feeling like that. You're not feeling wealthy. But if you dig a little deeper and you drum up that energy of remembering what it's like to receive the biggest paycheck that you've ever got. And you get into that energy and you're like, oh my God, I'm wealthy. Oh my God, I'm wealthy. That's when it starts to go into your subconscious mind, because now you're feeling it within your body. Your body is responding to it. You're programming the subconscious mind. It's much harder, I think, to intentionally program the subconscious mind than it is to take on programs in the subconscious mind. And what I mean by that is, again, like I said, outside stimuli. There are things coming from all angles. I was just in the parking lot dropping my son off at summer camp the other day, and a lady stopped me and she asked me why the tropical smoothie was closed. And I was like, I don't know. There were people in there 2 days ago. I just assumed it was open. But she kept asking me questions about the tropical smoothie. I'm like, I was being as nice as I could, but I'm like, ma'am, I really don't know. And she's like, well, I wonder if they gave somebody coronavirus. And I'm like, I don't know. But like that, I felt it hit me, because I am very aware, and I am very aware of what I try to bring into my subconscious mind now. I felt it hit me, and I was like, for a second, I was like, did they? Could they? Is that a thing? And then I went into fear for a second, and then I stopped it, because I am aware of my thoughts, I am aware of my actions, I'm aware of patterns, and I'm aware of triggers, and I stopped it. And I did what I told you guys to do last week, where I felt it in my heart, I opened my heart, and I released it. Because this isn't my thought, this isn't my pattern, this isn't my belief, but it came from outside me, and it was trying to go into my belief system. Am I making sense, you guys? So it's very easy to take on patterns, to take on subconscious beliefs from other people. And we get this from our parents, we get this from our upbringing, we get this from kids at school, we get this from what people tell us about ourselves. We get this from fear, we get this from TV, we get it from everywhere. And so if you want to reprogram your subconscious mind waking, then you have got to really focus on what you allow into your experience. And it's not about, spiritual bypassing. It's about choosing where your energy gets to go and what you get to pay attention to. So for me, you guys, I will watch the news occasionally, and I just cry and I feel terrible. And I'm like, why am I putting myself through this when I know that over half of this isn't true? It doesn't make me feel good. It's not doing anything for me. I don't really believe that it's educating me, because I do my research on my own, and I go to different sources and I pick up different things. And why am I doing this to myself? So I just stop. I just stop watching the media. I deleted my my personal Facebook a long time ago, because and I'm not saying that everybody has to do that, but for me, I feel it so deeply within my body that I'm like, where is this going? What is this doing for me? And if I listen to people talk about certain things and, certain situations or political matters, I feel myself getting heated, and I feel myself going to this side or that side, or agreeing with this person or agreeing with this person. That's not me. None of that is me. None of that is my thought. So it is my personal responsibility to focus on what feeds me, to focus on what serves me, to focus on what's going to help me grow as a person, as a spirit, as a mom, as a wife. What is going to help me grow? And that's something that I ask myself all the time. So if I am sitting here and something's making me not feel good, or something's causing me to get heated, I ask, okay, is this a pattern within me? Is this bringing something up within me? Is this something that I should be paying attention to? And if there is something that I feel is a trigger, but for a reason, like, I have to educate myself, I have to know what's going on in the world, I will meditate on it. And I will ask my higher self, and I will ask my subconscious mind to show me how I really feel, to show me what I need to do, to show me how I need to transmute it. And so that's the thing. We don't want to allow feelings and situations from the world to get stuck within us, but we also don't want to ignore them. We want to feel what's coming up, and we want to transmute it into something higher, something better, something that's going to help us grow or help us serve other people. So that's the outside stimuli. Now you can, like I said, focus on the things that serve you and serve other people and serve your subconscious mind and serve your body and serve your spirit as outside resources as well, which means you put the things on TV that are funny. Like anything that's going to make you laugh is always going to serve you. My husband was joking on me the other day and he's like, you always fall for the cheap laughs. I'm like, yeah, I love them. I love them. And then we're watching America's Funniest Home Videos and he doesn't laugh at the videos. He laughs at me laughing at the videos because they just get me every time. So if you want to raise your vibration, if you're sick, if you're not feeling good, or you're not feeling like yourself, watch something that you find funny, something that is hilarious to you. It's going to raise your vibration. So that's one thing. The other thing is, in the background, a lot of us will put music on in the background or podcasts or audiobooks. Make sure that those are things that are going to help your soul grow, that those are the things that are going to uplift you. I love to put my audiobooks on and drive around and have them playing in the background. I like to put Positive Head podcast. My friend, she just changed it to New Earth, but it was the Goddess Collective podcast. I have a couple of, and there's actually one podcast, I can't think of the name, but it's like a girl that just does affirmations for her podcast. Like the whole podcast focuses on affirmations for a specific subject. And those are the kinds of things that I will put on in the background. I also try to look up good news articles, like, the news, but things in the news that are actually positive. I search for those things. I try to focus on positive things in the world, the positive things that people are doing in the world. Yes, there is fear. Yes, there's real things that are going on. There are also really good things that are going on that are real and that deserve our attention too. The more that we feed, the more energy that we give something, the more that it grows. So if we take and we acknowledge like, yeah, this is going on in the world, but guess what? This is too, and this feels better. And we shift our attention and we shift our focus on something, that's what's going to grow. Think about all of the fear mongering that's going on, all of the attention that's going on to things that cause us fear and hurt and pain and anger. Those keep coming up and people keep giving their attention to those things and they're growing. And then people see like, oh, okay, well, this works. This is working. Let's do more of this. This is going to help it grow. It's our individual job and our collective job as light workers to shift our attention to what serves, to what is the light, to what helps us grow, and then give attention to it so that it can grow. We need to feed what serves. So, if you want to have your subconscious mind programmed to bring positive things and positive feelings and a more joyful life and a more joyful existence and an easier way to manifest, you've got to focus on the things, or at least have the things playing in the background that are going to serve you. Like maybe you play these types of videos in the background, and they don't have to be mine, but maybe there's somebody on YouTube that you really resonate with and they're always speaking their truth and they're always giving advice. That's, you guys, how I shifted my mindset in the beginning. And I'm going to give you my second tip too, is I just submerged myself, completely submerged myself. And every month that I have had like my best months in business, have been months that I have been just drowning in positive material constantly around the clock. So be mindful of what's playing in the background, be mindful of the conversations that are going on around you, and choose to shift your focus, okay? So, and be mindful of people that are in fear, and it's not that you have to shy away from them or not be there for them. Protect your energy and help them see a lighter perspective. I know like one of my good friends, and this is kind of on a different subject, but these are the seeds that we plant for other people that help the subconscious mind grow the programs. And I connected with a friend from high school, and he cut my hair, and then we decided like during the beginning of quarantine to do like a wine night over the phone like this. And he was talking about like how terrible money is, and he's a hairstylist, so he depends on clients, and we were just having conversations about money, and I was like, money doesn't have to be the root of evil. Money could be the root of so much awesome. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, think of all the amazing things that you could do if your business were incredibly successful. You could take some of your time to give haircuts to people in need. You could donate to charities that you believe in. You could buy somebody's lunch, buy a family's lunch when you're at dinner. You could, or lunch when you're at dinner. Buy their lunch when you're at the restaurant. You could, just pay it forward and help somebody simply because you can, because you have that availability. You can put your money back into an economy right now that's not really thriving because you have the ability to do so, because money can be the root of so much awesome. And I was like expecting like this whole backlash, and he was just like, oh my God, wow, I've never thought about it like that. I never grew up with those beliefs around money. I was always told that it was bad, and I've just kind of always had that, and I'm really going to think about that. It changed his thought pattern. And I don't know what he's doing today or how he's doing now, but I know that a lot of our conversations that night had to do with mindset. And there were just so many belief systems that, we planted seeds in that night simply by, giving him my thoughts and my own experiences. And so that's what we can do for other people. So if we have these things playing in the background that are positive, that are lifting us, that are teaching us, helping us grow, just playing in the background, that's getting into your subconscious mind. So again, if somebody's in fear around you, protect your energy and then see if you can help them shift their perspective just a little bit. It's not your job to water the seeds. It's just a responsibility, I feel, to plant them in a gentle way. That's not pushy. I had to add that. That's not pushy. So Rick says, fear is so seductive and I cannot help but observe how much others are drowning in it. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing in like a mind-blowing type of way. And you can watch yourself. You can experiment with yourself. You can go look at a news article and read it. And you can read the comments if you want to. Like if you really want to dig deep, you can read the comments. And even talking about it, you will feel the fear. You will feel your chest tightening. You will feel the energy coming from the other people and feel their fear. And then when you take a minute and you observe it and you ask yourself that question, where is this coming from? Is this mine? Is this really my belief? Is this really my thought pattern? And you're going to find that probably not. And then you go read something, just Google like good news, August 8th, 2020. See what comes up. Read that article. Read the comments. See how you feel. Notice, and then you can also notice like when sometimes I read YouTube comments on other people's stuff that I follow. And I'll read all of these positive comments. And then there's just like one person who just wants to be mean and wants to be nasty. And then I can feel my energy shift as I'm reading it. And I'll feel myself, well, why are they doing it? And I just question. I'm like, well, they're in fear, or this is uncomfortable for them, or they're just not ready for this message, and that's okay. And then I keep it moving. But the point is, you guys, fear is so powerful. It's so powerful, and it's so contagious. It's incredibly contagious. More contagious than the coronavirus itself. Fear is incredibly contagious. And you can feel yourself moving into it. So this, it's not necessarily on the subconscious mind, but again, it is, because your subconscious mind is taking that on. So you've got to observe it. You've got to be willing to shift it and let it go and ask, is this mine? Do I truly believe this? And that's how we get into the subconscious mind too. It's like all of this is coming full circle, and I didn't plan anything for this. So when you ask yourself, what do I truly believe? Higher self, what do I truly believe? What is my true and higher perspective on this situation or this person or this or this? And you'll see that it's likely not, what's coming up for you right now. You will see a higher perspective. You will be able to shift it. So, all right, I'm rambling. Step 1 to reprogramming your subconscious mind, be mindful of the energy and the messages that you're taking in. So make sure you are drowning yourself in, background noise of positivity, of growth. Put The Secret on in the background. Put some YouTube videos on in the background. Put podcasts on, audiobooks. You don't have to pay attention for them to get into the subconscious mind. I'll repeat, you do not have to pay attention for them to get into the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is getting programmed all the time, especially when you're not paying attention. So then brings up the subject of like music, because that's a whole thing. Some people will tell you not to even listen to music because it's negative. You don't even realize how negative it is. Some people will tell you only to listen to a certain kind of music or to listen to music that has no words. Here is my thought on that. This is just my thought. I am not an expert on this. Listen to what makes you feel good. As you elevate, as you shift your subconscious programs, as you begin to be more mindful of your thoughts, your words, your actions, you will naturally gravitate away from the music that is not serving you. Because again, your body will be like, oh, what's this? This does not feel good. Or you'll notice that that song takes you back to a time where you didn't feel good, okay? So for me, in the gym, I will put on everybody knows I love me some Lizzo. Like, I think she is just the most positive, body positive woman power person ever. I just love her. So I will listen to a lot of Lizzo, but then I'll listen to, some of the old music that I used to listen to in high school, like the rock music or punk music. And there are some songs that I'm like, oh, can't listen to this anymore. Gotta skip it. Or I love rap. Like, I love listening to rap, but there are a lot of songs that I have to skip simply because while they pump me up, I'm hearing the words and I'm hearing them going into my subconscious, and I've got to change it because it's not feeding me or my vibration in that moment. And it goes for all genres of music. Like I said, rock, punk, rap, whatever. There are different songs. It's not the genre, it's the song. So the song and the words that are programming me, I can now feel within my body what's serving me and what's not. So for music, just go with what feels good. If it's raising your vibration, then good. Let it raise your vibration, okay? So again, step one, surround yourself with information, words, material that is going to help you grow and raise your vibration. It doesn't always have to be super positive, but what is it teaching you? What is it planting within your mind? Step two, be mindful of yourself when you're in action. And this is probably the hardest thing. So I started, my journey of getting more positive by drowning myself in all of the things, as I mentioned before. And then the next step was to, okay, now I've got to pay attention to my thoughts. Now I've got to pay attention to the things that I'm saying to people and how I'm reacting and how I'm judging. And why did I just use the word stupid? That shouldn't even be in my vocabulary. And ew, I've spent, this many years saying that people are idiots. Now the word idiot just is like nails on a chalkboard to me. My mom says that all the time. She's like, this idiot. And I'm like, ugh, can you say something different? And I'm not trying to be judgy. It's just, that is where I'm at. When people are gossiping or calling each other names or talking poorly to each other or about someone or something else, it's like nails on a chalkboard, and I can feel it within my body. But it took me a long time to get there. I didn't just wake up one day and go, all right, I want to be a positive person, and I was a positive person. It took a lot of work. And so it's observing, can you guys see a theme here? I've been talking about observing for the past 3-4 weeks. It's a big thing that we're all supposed to be doing right now, really observing ourselves. And so it took getting into the habit of, as I'm talking, and I'm talking about something that's getting on my nerves or whatever, and then I can be like, oh, all right, I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to take a deep breath. And people would look at me like I was crazy. My husband would look at me like I was crazy when I'd be talking about traffic was so bad and blah, 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 blah. And then I would just stop and I would be like, but you know what? It wasn't bad, because what if it saved me from getting in an accident? Or what if it saved me, I wasn't supposed to be home yet, and I was supposed to, have this or this happen, and I got the time to see that bluebird. That was the way that I had to stop and shift myself. Or I'd be like, man, this person at work, this guy Pete, like I did not vibe with this guy Pete, and he sat right next to me, and every day he would come in and I could just feel his energy, and I didn't trust him, and I felt myself going down the rabbit hole. So I was like, all right, Pete, what do we do about Pete? How do I shift? And I had to ask myself these questions. How do I shift my vibration and my thoughts around Pete? And it went to, all right, he's teaching me patience. He's helping me to grow because he's showing me how I am responding to him, how reactive I am to the things that he says and does. He's teaching me to trust my intuition because, you guys, I don't think he was that trustworthy when I found out things after I left. I was right the whole time. So when I was there and I was in it and I'm like, all right, I don't like his energy. How can I set up boundaries? How can I keep him out of my energy? So it was constantly checking in on what are people teaching me about myself. And that's how I started to shift my subconscious programs from, man, this person sucks, to, man, I'm so grateful for this person and all that they're teaching me. And then I took it deeper and I took it to family and childhood, traumas, and we can do that. And when you shift into a state of gratitude, you cannot be into a state of negativity. It's proven. So like if you're really riled up and you're trying really hard to shift your subconscious programming and you're trying hard to change your thought patterns and it's just not clicking, like I said with the affirmations, no matter what you're telling yourself, you're not feeling it. You're just not feeling it. And if you're not feeling it, the patterns aren't going to sink in. So what you can do is shift into a state of gratitude. So you're sitting there and Pete's really made you mad today and Pete's crossing the line and he's not respecting your boundaries and he's just being Pete. And then you look outside and you're like, man, I need to find something to focus on. I see that bush and I'm really grateful. I know it sounds silly, guys. I'm really grateful for that bush outside. I'm really grateful that our planet has the ability to grow these things. And look at the sky today. The sky is so beautiful today. And then all of a sudden you kind of go into this small state of gratitude. And then you're like, oh, look, there's this person. I love that person. I love their energy. I'm so appreciative to have them as a friend. Man, you know what? This isn't the job that I necessarily want to be in forever, but I'm so grateful that I get this paycheck, and I'm so grateful that at the end of the day, I can kind of find some time for myself to read an article or two that fills me up. And man, Pete's just doing his thing. I'm just going to let Pete do his thing, and I'm not even going to let him impede on my energy because really what he's doing has nothing to do with me. And so from there, you have shifted. Your subconscious mind has gone from negativity, this person sucks, everything sucks, to wow, there's so much to be grateful for and all the little things around me. Does that make sense, guys? So that's how you start watching your thoughts and your actions. And then you will get better at it and better at it and better at it as you go. And you will start saying affirmations to yourself in the mirror, and that helps, and you'll feel it within your body. And the more that you do it, the more you'll feel it within your body. And the more that you shift into a state of gratitude, the easier it's going to be to watch your thoughts, because you're going to notice when you're in a state of fear, when you're in a state of lack or anger, that wow, this does not feel good. You will get to a place, if you do this most often, and you guys, if you're like, this seems so far outside of my realm, work with me. Like I'm telling you, I'm really good at this stuff. I will have you shifting your thought patterns within a very short amount of time. Work with me. I'll help you do it. I'm kind of a pro at it, but you will begin to feel it within your body. This feels uncomfortable, whereas it used to just feel normal. I used to live in this state of fear. I used to live in this state of lack or negativity. I used to say, I always expected bills to be in the mail. I always expected crappy things to happen. I always expected people to be crappy, and that's what I got. But I didn't notice how uncomfortable it was in my body, because that's what I had always experienced, and I was comfortably uncomfortable. I was numb to it even. And then when you shift to gratitude, you shift to what feels good, you're euphoric, you're feeling joy for no reason other than you're here and you're living this life. Even during times like this, you see that, oh, when I shift back to this and I allow myself to get worked up over something that in the grand scheme really isn't a big deal, it feels really bad. I don't want to go backward. I don't want to feel this way. So now, how can I shift? I hope this is helping you guys, because this is what really got me on the right track to changing my life, changing my thought patterns, and manifesting, because you know, it just naturally happens. You will naturally begin to manifest as you're saying, as you go from, I always get bills in the mail. Why is this bill coming? It's from 7 years ago. Like, great, now the car's broken. Great, like, I bet this person's going to get hurt today and I'm going to be the one that has to deal with it. When you shift from that to, you know what? I bet there's going to be a check in the mail today. It could be a 4-cent check. I don't care. That's a win. Man, I hope so-and-so is having so much fun today, and it's so cool that I get to hang out with this person. Like, it sounds so silly and so simple, but you will shift from one place to another. And when you shift to the higher state, going back to the lower feels terrible, like terrible. You will even be able to start telling when you're getting sick. That's been a big thing for me. First of all, I stopped getting so sick when I started doing the work. I used to be sick all the time. And when I started doing the work, I stopped getting sick so often. And then I would notice that my vibration would slip. And as my vibration would slip, I would feel myself start to not feel very good. And I would usually come down with something, or I would be able to catch it in time. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. The higher your vibration, the more in tune you are with yourself, the more cognizant you can be of the thoughts and emotions that are coming in, and the feelings and the effects that they have on your body. Okay, so step 1, submerge yourself in all the good things, all the things that are going to lift you. Step 2, become aware of your thoughts, patterns, emotions. Be responsible. Instead of, be responsible, be responsible, be in charge of the way that you respond and react to other people and to situations. And number 3, which I think is really equally as important as everything else. And, I've been doing this for so long that it's just natural to me. I haven't ever really thought to teach it until recently. But another thing that I did when I was starting out was I committed to, and I'm going to tell you guys something in a second. I've always been really good at making decisions. Like, if I decide I'm going to do something, then I'm just going to do it. If I decide, I haven't got here yet, but if I decide I'm going to make $1 million in 2 months, I'll probably do it, because I get that dead set on things. And I just haven't, my body hasn't responded to the fact that I can do that yet, but maybe one day. But I will get into a state of, I'll decide something, and I've been doing this since I was little, my body will align with it, I will make it happen. And so when I decided that I was going to change my life, I was like, all right, I'm going to get happy. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm going to be one of those happy people that I see all the time. I'm going to be one of those joyful people that I see, because I know that they exist. And whether or not I've had the example of it in my own life, or whether or not I've ever been that person for more than a day, I'm going to be one of those people that's happy, that loves what they do, that loves their family, that values everything. I'm going to be one of those people that lifts other people up. And then I decided to make it happen. I didn't know how. The how is not up to us. We just decide. And what is our decision, and how does that feel within our body? And it felt good. It clicked immediately. And so, I did the things that I've already told you. And then I decided that for 30 days, I was going to listen to affirmations or meditations as I slept. Every night for 30 days. It takes 21 days to make a pattern. And to break a habit, or to make a habit. I think it's both. It might be 7 days to make a habit, 21 days to break a habit. I'm not sure. I can't look it up right now. And I didn't even know this at the time, but I was like, 30 days. I'm going to commit to saying these affirmations. I'm going to commit to mirror work. I'm going to commit to listening to these things as I sleep. And so that's what I did. Every morning I would look at myself and I would just say, hey girl, I love you. You're beautiful. Whatever I needed that day. I used to really lack confidence. Like I said, Rick brought up the point of like our past lives stuff. I never had any reason to lack confidence, but I did. So I was working on my confidence. At night, I was listening to Louise Hay affirmations, or a hypnosis that was, about confidence or self-love or whatever, or being happy, finding joy. I listened to them as I slept. They helped me fall asleep. And what happens, like I said, your subconscious mind does not sleep. So when you're asleep, your conscious mind has stopped blocking you. Your conscious mind is not in the way anymore. And so all those affirmations, all those seeds, they get planted, and they get planted in abundance, like a bunch of wildflowers. And as you're awake, as long as you're not getting up and going straight into the same routine and straight into the old patterns and habits that you had before, as long as you're consciously aware of, all right, I choose to be in a good day. I choose for today to be a good day. I'm going to set my intention for the day. And anytime something tries to derail me, I'm going to do my best to get back on track. As long as you allow those seeds to be planted and then you water them in that way, you can't help but change, because now you are programming your subconscious mind while you sleep. Does that make sense? So I don't know. I put it on my Instagram story the other day. I can't remember if I made it public or not, but over 30 days ago now, I decided that I have been so thirsty. I've been on the awakening diet. And if you don't know what the awakening diet is, your body just kind of does it for you when you're shifting, where you cannot get enough water. All you want are like fruits, vegetables, grounding, high vibrational foods, usually less meat, usually more whole foods. For some reason, it's usually like cold stuff too. Cold stuff or soup, just very light food. And you usually will just naturally not want alcohol or whatever substances that, you know, you typically use to enhance your feelings. I don't know how to say that. So I had just noticed that for me, and I love wine. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I love wine. I love red wine. And I was just like, you know, I don't feel like this is serving me anymore. I don't feel like it's serving me right now. It brings down my vibration, and, you know, I'm tired the next day, even from only having 1 or 2 glasses. Like, let's see what happens if I just don't have wine and I just stick to this awakening diet for a while. I didn't give myself a timeline. So like a week passed and I was good. I didn't drink anything. And then another week passed and I was like, I decide 30 days. And if I can make it to 30 days, then I'll just see what my body wants. And I'll just ask my body what it wants after that. And so I did. And alongside that, you guys, I decided I'm going to do my subconscious programming again. And I'm going to not only drink alcohol for 30 days, but I'm also going to do my affirmations while I sleep for 30 days and my mirror work for 30 days. And so much has shifted. So much has shifted. And it's not about the alcohol, because I didn't have a problem or anything. I just decided this is not what I want right now. Oh, and I also kind of quit drinking sweet tea too, which you guys know is my thing. I've only had like 2 sweet teas in the last 30 days. That wasn't even a part of the plan. But I just decided that this doesn't fit my vibration right now. And I'm doing everything I can to help serve and uplift other people. And this is something that's bringing down my vibration, and all I need to be doing is climbing up my vibration right now. So I just decide. And so it's been over 30 days now. I'm still not drinking anything, and I'm still doing my affirmations every night, or listening to affirmations every night. And it's really helping. It helps with your confidence. It helps with, you know, we're in some weird times right now, and it's easy to get wrapped up in the fear, and it's easy to get wrapped up in the politics and the negativity. And so this has been something that has really helped me shift. And then just a cool, fun exercise. Like, these are my 3 tips that I have for you guys. Submerge yourself in the positive. Pay attention to your thoughts and actions. Reprogram yourself, and be responsible. And then listen to, you know, subliminal messaging, or you know, positive affirmations or hypnosis while you sleep, to intentionally shift your subconscious patterns. As you do, I promise you, you will become healthier, you will become lighter, you will become happier. Things, people, situations, your job, everything will respond to you differently. This changed my entire life. Above my intuition, everything, this changed my life because it led me into my intuition. It led me into my mediumship practice. So, you know, it's amazing. It's amazing. So, you know, if you don't know how to do this, if you want help, if you're like, I'm ready to change my life, trust yourself. Trust yourself. You can do all the things that you want to do. You are capable of being the happy person. You are capable of manifesting. You are capable of feeling joy all of the time. You are, and you're worthy of it, and you freaking deserve it. Give it to yourself. But you've got to trust yourself. And sometimes, not everybody is good at like holding themselves accountable. Not everybody's super self-disciplined, and I understand that. I'm not that way in all areas of my life, and sometimes we need somebody to help us and guide us and be there with tough love, pushing us up the mountain and egging us on, being like, you cannot give up now. You are just on the cusp of breaking through, and I'll be that person for you if you want me to, or if there's somebody else that you resonate with, go ahead. But sometimes we just need somebody else to give us a higher perspective, to help us see ourselves a little bit differently. So, I am available for coaching. I have a few spots open next month, but there's so much good that is available to you. There's so much that you are worthy of. You were born to feel joy. You were meant to be a joyful being. Your entire truth, your entire existence is love, and this comes from spirit. We are conditioned out of that. We have no fear until we are conditioned into fear, until we have a reason to be fearful. And, fear is a necessity. Like, we should be fearful of touching the stove. We should be fearful of walking off the cliff. But we shouldn't be living in a constant state of fear like we are. It's stress. It wreaks havoc on the body and the mental body. So try these things and let me know if they help you. I'm just going to read some comments. Rick said, your words of positive thinking is a great way of how we can use our free will for joy. Oh, thank you, Rick. Exactly. We have free will. We can use it one way or the other way. Can you comment here who it was you listened to when you sleep? I'm loving this, you rock. Thank you, Mary. So I listened to Louise Hay. One of the ones that I really liked was 101 Power Thoughts, I think. I listened to that. And Mike, I always recommend them. I need to probably just reach out to them one day. I've been recommending them for 6 years and I've never talked to them. Michael Seeley and Jason Stevenson, and now a girl named Rasa. It's Rasa. They all have hypnosis meditations for different things. So you can go through release yourself from negativity. You can do, they have program your subconscious mind. They have things like that. So those are ones that I really like. And Keisha said it takes a minimum of 21 days for an old mental image to dissolve and a new one to gel. Ooh, to gel. I like that. Yeah, and that makes sense. That makes complete sense. And I just think that sometimes, you guys too, it's just good to give yourself a goal. Can I do this? Am I capable of doing this? I don't care if it's going outside and doing 20 jumping jacks a day for 30 days. Are you capable of doing that? And just remember, this is something that my higher self gave to me, and I don't remember if I said this a couple months ago or not, but my higher self gave to me, if you can commit to something for 30 days, and mine was journaling with my higher self for 30 days, if you can commit to something for 30 days, you build a trust within yourself, and you build a deeper relationship with your higher self, because now you're saying, I'm doing this, I'm showing up for me. I'm doing this, I'm showing up for me. And it's an act of self-love no matter what the task is or what the goal is. So, does anybody have any questions or anything before I jump off of here? I have another session for the day and I need to get some lunch. Anybody? All right, you guys. Well, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. It's always so much fun. If anybody wants to email me or you have any other questions, you can drop them in the comments below. I will do my best to get back to you, or you can email me, Ashley@lightloveandspirit.com. And like I said, I have a bunch of programs and things that will help you with this. But really, I think that the best place to start for subconscious programming is going to be connecting with me and your guides to get that higher perspective, to see exactly what it is that you need to help you shift. And we're in a massive energy shift right now, so we might as well be shifting along with it. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you next week. Bye.